Test and bandwidth.
Well, hopefully we'll get the first debate started shortly. Scott, we need to make an announcement last. This is the last chance to submit a question for the sheriff's debate. I need to grab a pen.
Go to my bag. Tell my son there's a bunch of them in my bag.
Yeah, okay, thank you. All right, this last question I have to rewrite. This, by the way, this is based on...
Look.
There it is.
We're live. We're live. So now everybody heard me just point out to Mike that we're live.
Isn't that fun? We're live. We're live. You're live. I'm live. We're all live. I was hooked up to line the other day.
And remind me, I'll flip it back around when we get to where we're live.
I went back and told her.
The rest of these questions, I
Does he know?
These are number 5 comments that we use.
I'm thinking about moving out of the county.
So, and you can choose whichever time's good. Hi, how are you? We're, no, oh, we won. These are some additional questions. I'm not really sure what this means, however, in Rockdale afford more sheriffs, I'm not sure if that means
So these are the ones in this line row?
yeah.
I'll ask her to see.
Now,
So this, out of the ones that you circled, I only got to answer 3. Definitely, I know that one definitely. So,
well, this one, obviously,
right.
but in order, 1, 2, 3. Transparency, I think, is very important. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting the first debate shortly. This will be your last opportunity to submit a question for the candidates for sheriff. The forms are up the front. If you just fill out the form, put your question in the basket, and we'll try to get to it during the debate.
Hey, I see this is the hot seat. Is that the hot seat up there?
Those are the hot seats.
All right, all right. Good deal, good deal. Yeah, that's...
Gentlemen, just to let you know, we are streaming this debate live. Right now, I just have it kind of aimed towards all you guys. Once the debate starts, you get up there.
Sir?
That's always a good thing.
My wife put way too much Mio in that one.
Was it strong?
Well, that was an unfortunate wrench in the works. I'd like for him to be in it, but Tony said the deadline's already passed. So that's what I had to say, the deadline's already passed. I would have loved to have seen him.
Oh yeah, you want that toy. That's the best toy I've ever bought,
man.
brother, I tell you.
I'm telling you.
It's an iPad 8. And then,
Now, who makes that?
I'll have to get you one of my cards so I can tell you all the stuff, man. That is the greatest toy I've ever put money into.
Okay, because I was looking at the connection here, and
And see, it's all connected through Wi-Fi. And then I can actually do videos. I can go video anything I want, and then within just minutes. But within minutes, so I can film it and then go edit it or whatever I want, and then have a commercial because I downloaded all sorts of drops and everything else, so I can have it ready for Facebook in 15 minutes. So doing what you're doing, I used to do. you gotta go home, you gotta download, you gotta this. I can sit on the street and do all this. Like I literally can sit in my car and have this ready to be played within 15 minutes on the internet.
So this is by Apple?
Yeah, it's an Apple iPad. It's the Apple Air. And then see, you can download all these great intros. So there you go. I can get any of those beginnings I want. So like that. And then I can change all the words. So that makes all my beginnings. Yeah, I mean, I love it. Because I used to do it the old way.
Yeah.
It just ain't fast. And it's not user friendly. And when we're in an event, I need to do something like right now where I can say, look what you're missing and have it on Facebook within minutes. Hey, let me use the restroom. Now see, that's great for up close and personal stuff, but like the candy fast, like show up to an event, that's fast. So fast. All right, I'm gonna use the restroom. Make sure Connie's down too.
Tim, what you like about that?
This?
Yeah.
Well, I've got used to with the tablet or touch screen. I guess because it's 10 times lighter, and this is a little Bluetooth connected. So I just go like that, and it's just I've got Word, Office on it, I've got Adobe, I've got everything, and then on top of that, I've got all the apps. I can control my TV right now. I can hook up to AT&T and watch that. I've got. Have you ever heard of Kodai? Kodai is a bit-turn service that basically. I'm a young guy.
I understand.
They just make me look sexy.
Look, let me join you.
This is called Kodai, okay? And basically, it's every song, every movie, and every TV show that's ever been made.
So that's just an app?
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, you know about the web, you know that generally we work at making a time and find well, as you go into the other parts of the web, you find midterm type software coding. This particular one, Kodai doesn't actually do it, but what they do is they provide these locations for these places. So what happens is you go to TV shows like okay, so you see how it works, right? Okay, so once I type in a hit log, it will bring up much
To the shipment, you'll be given 90 seconds to answer each question. I just hope everybody enjoys it, and I hope you guys enjoy it too. So if I could ask the two candidates for sheriff to come up to the podium. To determine the order of who gets to answer first, we're going to ask you gentlemen, if you would, to just draw a number out of the little jar here, and the lowest number will go first.
Mr. Ferguson has number 4.
Number 4.
And Mr. Everett has number 1.
Number 1. So Sheriff Levitt will go first. Sheriff, this is a question from a member of the audience. Their name is Paul. What is your now? Any questions from the audience? I will read verbatim. I'm not going to change any wording or any inflection. What is your on-the-road patrol experience or do you have?
Yes. First of all, let me just say, I've been in law enforcement for 23 years. 20 of those years has been with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office, and 2 of those years has been with 2 local police departments here in Georgia. All of those experiences, 23 years of experience, has been in what I call full service, meaning responding to calls, investigating cases, investigating crime, of experience, patrol experience, and so forth. 3 years of my experience has been in criminal investigation division, with about a year or 2 experience as a sergeant in criminal investigation. I've also been a cops deputy sheriff. I've also been a supervisor corporal in the cops division. Been a school resource officer. I've worked in various divisions within the sheriff's office, except for vice and narcotics. Most of my experience, again, is on the street, in patrol, where I have patrolled to calls for service. Let me just tell you the difference in the Rockdale Sheriff's Office and some of the other sheriff's offices around Georgia. Rockdale Sheriff's Office, our sheriff's office, is a full service sheriff's office, which means we're just like a police department, and we respond to calls for service. We have a criminal investigation division, as I stated earlier, where we investigate crimes from aggravated assaults to thefts to murders. We have a crime scene.
I'm sorry, my mistake. I skipped entirely your opening statements. Ms. Ferguson, I'll give you the opportunity to answer the question, and then we'll do opening statements.
Yes, sir.
Here, go ahead.
Um,
Go ahead. There you go. Oops. Sorry.
I am a retired captain, 26 years of law enforcement, Fulton County Sheriff's Office. I have 2 years of road experience as a lieutenant commander, as well as field training officer with Fulton County Sheriff Department. My expertise in terms of the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, the office in per se is not full service, as Sheriff Levitt mentioned, and the reason being because Fulton County is a large municipality, and we have a particular a unit called Fulton County Police Department, which the county commission operates. So, as Fulton County Police Department is the primary law enforcement entity within Fulton County government, the Sheriff Department, in terms of the Sheriff Patrol and Warrant Division, is basically a backup to Fulton County Police. So there was not a true need for the Fulton County Sheriff Department to be primary, that being its primary function. But as far as myself, I do have the experience in terms of working the roles and working warrant civil process, and also being a field training instructor. One thing in particular about me, I'm a master training instructor, post-certified. Not too many law enforcement personnel are master training instructors, and also I taught basic mandate, which issues of criminal procedure, civil liability, and again, any particular issue that deals with law enforcement personnel at the Fulton County Public Safety Training Center. And so, even during that time, I've worked as an instructor since 1990.
10 seconds. Was that it, or 10 seconds? Okay.
Can I rebuttal that, please?
Yes, sir, 30 seconds.
Donald Ferguson has alluded a couple times that he has 2 years of patrol experience. I'm a little confused on the 2 years of patrol experience with Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Based on the information that I've seen, I have not found anything that shows what 2 years of patrol experience. So I would, love to know what 2 years of patrol experience, he has, and how that qualifies him as a patrol officer, and what is patrol for Fulton County.
Well, let me, I do have my file to the left of me, but let me make it real clear, Sheriff. As the Sheriff of Rockdale County, it's an administrative position. And as an administrative position, you delegate responsibilities in terms of field services in terms of the county. So my position would not be riding in a vehicle on an ongoing basis. I'll have a designated unit commander that will handle those particular responsibilities and making sure that the community is safe, secure, and also minimizing the particular violent and property crimes that these citizens face today. My responsibility.
Thank you, Captain. That's time. And now, obviously, I made a mistake. I skipped right over your opening statement. You do get 2 minutes right now. So, Mr. Ferguson, it's your turn to go first. So,
Again, good evening, everyone. My name is Don Ferguson. I'm a retired captain, 26 years, Fulton County Sheriff Department. My basic responsibility here today is to ensure the quality of life for all citizens of Rockdale County, to make sure that I keep this county safe and secure and minimize the violent crimes and property crimes that exist throughout this community. People are in fear of victimization. Also, they're in fear of going out in the community and feeling safe. My position here is to make sure that all citizens of Rockdale County, as well as stakeholders, are free from this victimization, free from fear of walking into communities, free from home invasions, free from business invasions. And I'll make sure that the quality of life in Rockdale County exists. As Donald Ferguson, your next sheriff, May 24, 2016.
All right, first of all, good evening to everyone. Thank you for having us here. I would like to acknowledge, if possible, all of the veterans who are here. I want to thank you for your service. I want to thank you for everything that you do for us. I do know that I have members here on my team that are veterans. I do have members of the Sheriff's Office that are veterans. That is one of the things that we do cater to at the Sheriff's Office. That is one of the things that I do in the community, is support our veterans and go to the events that the county have for our veterans. So thank you again. We wouldn't be here if it was not for you. I have family members that have served this country as well, so I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge and get that out of the way. Again, my name is Eric Levitt, and I am your sheriff of Rockdale County. I was born and raised here in Rockdale County. I'm going to go ahead and tell you, for 43 years I've been here. I am married to my lovely wife, who is sitting there. Honey, would you please stand? Thank you. Next month will be 20 years that we've been married, and we've been together about 22 years. So without a strong woman, I don't believe that I would be able to do what I'm doing here today. So thank you for your support and you being here. We have two wonderful children, two sons who are here as well, Christian and Colin. They attend the Rockdale County Public Schools. As I've stated earlier, my experience with the sheriffs in law enforcement has been about 23 years. I've told you about the various divisions that I've worked in, so I'm not going to go over that again. But let me just tell you a few things which my opponent has alluded to. Number one, I see that everybody here arrived here safely. I don't see any concern on your faces where you're in fear of being in Rockdale County. But let me just tell you, Rockdale County is nothing like all the other counties surrounding us. And I think that that over the last almost 4 years, I'm a proven leader and with proven results. I have reduced crime for almost 30%, nearly 30%, and we're going to continue to do that.
thank you. Mike, you have a question?
I do. Good afternoon, everybody. It's Military Mike from Just from Fun Radio, and I'm one of the veterans that you were talking about.
Thank you.
Thank you for acknowledging us, and thank you to the VFW for having us today. This question goes to you, Sheriff. Which communities do you think are the high risk?
Well, when you're talking about communities, I'm assuming you're talking about communities in Rockdale County. For the person that posed this question, we're talking about Rockdale County particularly.
Yes, sir.
Let me just tell you, when I took office, I formed what we have a criminal analysis division, which is made up of about 5 individuals. One of the things that they do is study the crime throughout the entire county. We have a cup staff meeting that we have every 2 weeks, and we go over the crime and where the crime is increasing. Where we see that increase in crime, we allocate those sources. So I don't want to sit here and taint individual county, because to me that's targeted and frowning on our various communities. We have a great community overall. I know this community because I am very involved in this community. And like my opponent, I never see him at any function. I never see any support that he give our businesses or any of our residents at ribbon cuttings or at different functions. And so I just attack the crime where it rises. So we have crime all over the county, and we're not immune to crime. It's how we're dealing with crime, it's how we address crime, and I've shown that.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Ferguson, would you like to rebuttal?
Yes, sir. 60% of your crime is in the Salem corridor, extending from Old Salem Road down Salem to I-20. If you look at the crime stats in terms of the overview of Rockdale County violent crimes is at about 57.3%. The national average is 41.4%. Property crimes is 46.5% to the national average of 43.5%. When you look at Conyers, Georgia, because Conyers, Georgia is a municipality of Rockdale County, so you cannot escape that. And so you have about 15,000 individuals within Rockdale, City of Conyers, but the violent crime percentage is 62.1% to the national average of 41.4%, and property crime 79.5% to 43.5%. So when you look at the overall percentages, not only you look at Rockdale County, but you have to look at the municipality of Conyers when you factor in your violent and property crimes here in this community.
Thank you, Mr. Ferguson.
May I rebuttal that?
Yes, sir.
Let me just say quickly, I don't know where he's getting his national stats, but to me, I think that I would have come here and had some information to pass out to the people here about these stats. But let me just say, he's right. The city of Conyers is in my jurisdiction. However, let me make sure that everybody understands this. The police chief and I get along, and I don't step on his toes, and he doesn't step on mine. So therefore, the police chief is responsible for the city of Conyers, and I'm responsible for the county to include the city of Conyers. However, he combats the crime in the city, and I will combat the crime in the county. If he needs assistance, we will help him with that assistance.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Can I respond to that?
We'll give you 30 seconds.
All right. The sheriff has to understand that he is the chief law enforcement officer in this county. He doesn't have to suppress his authority to a local police chief. He's responsible for this entire county. If in fact, if he needs to adjust the attitude of the police chief in this particular, in Rockdale County, he has the authority to do so. But ultimately, your responsibility, and the responsibility of myself as being sheriff of Rockdale County, is to make sure that these citizens are safe, secure, and have a better quality of life, and they don't make any transition outside of Rockdale.
Thank you. I want everybody to know these questions are coming out of the box. They are from the public. Some of these don't have a person's name on them, so I can't tell you who's asking. This is for Mr. Ferguson. How will you fight crime?
I'll fight crime making sure that there's 24-hour surveillance monitoring system throughout the entire county. I'll have 24-hour foot patrols within the community. I'll have neighborhood watch programs as far as our business and local neighborhoods. And also what I'll make sure is that we have not only surveillance cameras throughout the county, but in the midst of all that, there's 8 precincts within this particular community of Rockdale. There'll be sub-precincts in each particular community, and those sub-precincts will operate 24 hours a day. Not like the sub-precinct that's located on Georgia 20 and Honey Creek, which has a sign on it that says 9 to 5, and half of the time you don't see anybody there, and that's in my community. But I'll make sure that our particular personnel, in terms of operating on community policing, there's a partnership with our neighbors, in terms of the local citizens of Rockdale County, as well as the business community. But again, 24-hour surveillance, foot patrols in our community, business districts in our neighborhoods, and minimize and suppress the increase of violent and property crimes within our community.
Thank you, sir. You get 90 seconds to answer the same question, Sheriff. How will you fight crime?
Well, again, I have proven that. I've explained earlier of the crime analysis division that I have. I've put together 2 task force. We have a special operations that work in the high crime areas that we deem to be high crime, and we learn that crime area. And so again, my results have shown where I have reduced the crime in Rockdale County. But let me just tell you where he's a little off, which is the reason why I explained the difference in a full service sheriff's office and the sheriff's office that he came from and his administrative duties. 24-hour surveillance where he's going to use cameras. Budget expense, 24-hour foot patrol, 8 precincts. Let me just tell you, the County don't even have 8 precincts. The only county around us that have more than 8 precincts is Atlanta Police Department. Gwinnett County, ladies and gentlemen, don't even have 8 precincts. So the question that I have is, where is he going to fund it? Where is he going to find the funding to put up the 24-hour surveillance? And mind you, that is the reason why we are a full-service sheriff's office, because we are patrolling 24 hours. Unlike he's going to have a 40-hour, a 4 10-hour shift, which is only 24 hours in a day.
I can make it happen. I've done it for Fulton County Sheriff Department as accreditation manager, also I'm a grant writer. As sheriff, you have to have innovative expertise in making things and changing the way you do business as far as law enforcement. All you have to do is change the actual patrol scheme in terms of irregular patrols within the community. 4 10-hour shifts, 1 overlapping 8. It can be done, and I can make it happen.
Thank you. Mike?
Next question. This one is for Mr. Ferguson. It says, Donald, I heard you say on Just for Fun Radio, I'm sorry, what is this Donald right there?
From Charles.
Oh, from Charles, I apologize. It says, Donald, I heard you say on Just for Fun Radio that you would not allow citizens in Rockdale to carry a gun around. How are you going to stop them when it's their Second Amendment?
I did not say that. I did say that in terms of the use of firearms, because I do believe in the Second Amendment of the Constitution. But one thing that I will not tolerate is those individuals that will be walking around in the particular community that are putting folk lives in fear. There was one particular incident that occurred on 138 in which a particular individual had a semi-automatic weapon on the bridge of 138 and the overpass of I-20. There is a concern in regards to that. And so it's not about taking someone's firearm. There is a right to carry firearms under the Second Amendment of the Constitution, but there's one thing I will not tolerate is citizens being in fear. And that is the comment that I will stick to in terms of whatever the question that was that I had to address. It was citizens being in fear or being intimidated by someone carrying a firearm within our community.
Thank you. Sheriff, would you like to answer the question as well?
Well, first of all, I was listening to the radio, and again, I'm hoping to get a copy of that so we can go back and re-listen to it. And if I'm incorrect, I will contact Mr. Ferguson and apologize to him. But I believe I recall hearing him say, "quote the deputies his deputies were going to approach those who are carrying guns, and that they will not carry guns on his streets." Again, I'm familiar with that, the Second Amendment law. As you know, if that was something that I was enforcing with the Sheriff's Office, we couldn't get anything else done. Because people have the right to carry a gun. You have to have 2 things in order to, number one, even approach someone with a gun. You have to have ARS and probable cause. If you don't have those 2 things, watch out. You're going to end up in a lawsuit because you just now violated their rights. I'm a firm believer in law-abiding citizens carrying guns. I support that. I actually provide gun safety courses 3 times a year, which is advertised in the newspaper, which was said that we don't advertise. It was advertised in the newspaper and on the Facebook page. What I don't support is criminals carrying guns, criminals using guns in our community, and we're going to continue to combat that if they do that.
You don't support criminals, sir, but you do hire them through the back door.
You're making that statement here. Provide the facts, sir.
Oh, I have them. I gave it to you earlier this morning.
Well, provide it to me now.
I'll give it to you again.
Okay, let's move on. If we can, we'll avoid unfounded allegations. We'll avoid any unpleasantness.
Say it now.
Let's answer the questions that the people are asking, and hopefully keep it at that. There's no name on this question. Go ahead, Mike.
Rockdale County has never experienced an accredited sheriff's office. Can either of you please share with us what that would look like?
Sheriff Levitt.
Well, first of all, we are a state certified agency. One of the things that I was looking at, and I'm still looking at, is a CALIA. I have stated earlier in my first term that I was wanting to get our agency CALIA certified and accredited through CALIA. I am still, researching that. I've been talking to other sheriffs. I know that there's one sheriff that's had, he's got an issue with CALIA at this point. Before I move forward with CALIA certification, I just want to make sure that it's the best thing for Rockdale Sheriff's Office. Currently, we have a state certification audit every year. We always pass our state certification. In fact, we're going to be recognized, I believe this Tuesday coming up, for passing our state certification. It is almost the same, just slightly different, but we're governed by the state and we are a certified agency.
Mr. Ferguson, would you like to answer the question?
Yes, sir. The Commission on Accreditation, which is acronym CALIA, is a national organization, which I, in the past, in Fulton County Sheriff Department, was the accreditation manager for the entire agency. What CALIA does is, it's a cure for dysfunctional and toxic behavior among leaders and law enforcement personnel. What it also does is it enhances policy and procedure within the organization, and it provides an access in terms of doing things based on community-oriented policing. It enhances your policy, and it also reaches out to the community and makes the agency accountable to the citizens and stakeholders of Rockdale County. When it comes to grants, particular programs, CALIA is the forefront of opening doors for grants within your organization. And as a former accreditation manager, which I got Fulton County accredited all 3 major accreditations with Fulton County Sheriff's Office with Triple Crown in 2003, the 23rd agency in the United States to have that particular title. I was the accreditation manager at that time. In 2006, after we had the Brian Nichols shooting incident, in 2006, I had us to retain our accreditation as a second Triple Crown in 2006, which we retained CALIA, the Commission on Accreditation for Law Enforcement, ACA, which is our jail accreditation, as well as NCCAC, which is the National Commission on Correctional Healthcare. I've done all that. And I can get Rockdale County accredited in less than 2 months.
Thank you.
2 months.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mike?
I have another question here from someone, one of the constituents. At one time, you've participated in different community organizations, such as homeowners associations, youth associations, and I apologize, I'm trying to read these verbatim, a choice to change, etc. What are your thoughts on these type of organizations within our community? And Sheriff, I'll start with you.
I'm hoping I'm understanding that question correctly. First of all, I'm a huge supporter of our youth and our young adults. Again, I am very involved in the community. I go to a lot of school functions and events throughout Rockdale County. And in fact, it is proven that my support with the youth, that I am called to other counties at their schools and their functions for youth programs as well. And I'm so passionate about that we have started a program, and it has already started. It was in the newspaper, Choose to Change. I was also contacted from one of our local residents here, and also an organization out of, I believe it's Oklahoma, on a program that we're about to launch here as well to help our youth. Again, I'm very supportive of our youth. We have CHAMPS program, we have the GREAT program in the school system. We have our deputies that are in COPS division that are constantly involved with youth programs and events throughout subdivisions, from block parties to HOA meetings. We're interacting with all the kids. So we're very supportive of any positive youth program that is going on in Rockdale County and around our counties.
Thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Ferguson, would you like to answer?
Sure will. The Sheriff Department has lost all their particular grants. They lost the community-oriented policing grant. They lost their GREAT grant. They do not have a chance program that's valid. I have the documentation that you don't have any particular grants that deal with our particular kids. You can have that if you like. You just, in terms of the last 4 years that you've been in office, you have not done anything for our children within this community. You speak of a particular youth program that you've been in the paper within like maybe a month ago. Chef, you've been in office for 4 years. The youth are a vital instrument of our community. And you should have actually took that vital instrument and had something in place for our children when you took office in 2012. I know the importance of youth. I used to be a youth coach. I started in 1989, in which I coached basketball and baseball and football. But the main thing about our children is building a foundation, is building self-discipline, is being a part of these particular kids pre-third grade, because we got to understand that prisons are based on third grade test scores. So we have to be vital in making sure that we address these issues with our kids pre-third grade, kindergarten, third grade, and be a connection between our particular families within this community. You have not done anything in terms of these children, Sheriff.
Please let me respond to that.
You got 30 seconds, Sheriff.
Okay, where once again, here we go again with someone with no facts. I don't need this document to tell me that we don't have a grant. What he needs to understand is there's a contract between the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office and the Board of Education. Also, we do have a CHAMPS program. I graduate kids every other month. In fact, if he'd like to attend, he's more than welcome to attend the graduation that we have on next week. This again is an individual who is out of touch with the facts.
Thank you, Sheriff. That's your time. A question from the audience to Mr. Ferguson. What ended your term with Fulton County? Was it disciplinary or by choice?
It was choice of retirement. I got a copy of my file here. I retired July 7th of 2010. And I do have a copy of my retirement right here next to me. Thank you.
Sheriff, do you need to address? Okay.
I don't have to address that.
Again, from the audience, Mr. Ferguson, at a church function recently, you were described as strong-willed and as Captain Ferguson. Have you disclosed to anyone that you are presently serving as a captain with an office?
No, I have not.
Okay.
But I am a retired captain, and I address myself as a retired captain. That's what retired captains do. And I will continue to be addressed as a retired captain. Other than, if I'm talking with someone in my capacity like military, we address each other by rank and not by the name Donald, because I don't call anybody Eric.
Thank you.
All right, the first part of the question, and this again comes from our audience, how would you rate the current morale of the Rockdale County Sheriff's Department? And who do we start with?
Sheriff Levitt.
Sheriff Levitt, question to you first.
And the second part of that question is, what are you basing your assessment on? Current levels of morale and what you're basing your assessments on?
Well, again, when you bring accountability within the Sheriff's Office, and you treat everybody fairly and equal, you're not going to satisfy the agency. When you have individuals leave and individuals don't get the things that they want, you're not going to satisfy everybody. So when you talk about the morale, I would say our morale within the agency is probably about on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say probably around a 7.5. And what was the second part of that question?
What are you basing your assessment on?
Well, I'm basing that on here recently in community. I have heard numerous of residents that talk about the deputies who have made statements to them about how they enjoy the Sheriff's Office, the changes that they like, and so forth and so on. And again, we have provided them everything that they can possibly want to do their jobs efficiently. And so with that being said, we involve them in decisions that we make a lot of the times, and that's what I'm basing it on.
All right, thank you, Sheriff. Mr. Ferguson?
My particular assessment is based on personnel that actually are previously employed with Rockdale County Sheriff's Department, as well as those who are currently employed with Rockdale County Sheriff's Department, in terms of the dysfunction and the toxic behavior of Sheriff Levitt. Hiring people through the back door that's not qualified for various positions, overlooking particular personnel within the department that is qualified for certain positions through a promotional process. There's not an assessment center within the agency for as promotion is concerned. There are various talented individuals within Rockdale County Sheriff Department that's being overlooked. And I know this for a fact because I've got a lot of information, especially through open record requests, on many individuals that have actually gone through a particular process. Even with some individuals that actually are under investigation with Georgia Post that actually been hired through Rockdale County Sheriff's Office. And a lot of individuals in positions in Rockdale County Sheriff's Office do not have to meet the qualifications in terms of degrees or being post certified. And I have this particular documentation, and if the sheriff is willing to take it and not throw it back at me, he can absorb that. I will give it to him.
Let me, if I may rebuttal that, I would love to have that document because I want to know who I hired that is under post investigation. So yes, sir, I will take that document. Secondly, I didn't throw anything.
Basically, you already have that information. You should
know. You just got done saying that. So I'd like to see your document. You said it there, and I didn't throw anything at you. You throw it at me.
You can have it.
First of all, we have a process set up, a hiring and selection process. Our process, number one, starts with the Rockdale County Human Resource. It then comes to us. We have a booklet. We have a oral panel and a panel with myself. We go through the GBI for polygraph. We have testing for promotional. We put them on a ranking list, and we choose, and I choose from there.
Thank you.
Mr. Ferguson, would you like to have an opportunity for a rebuttal on that?
I have a whole document in terms of somebody that he just recently hired, that in terms of the background investigation, some of his own personnel, that even himself does not meet the requirement as far as the post description, job description. And even, it was found that even in the application, a person who falsified his application for employment, but when the person went for a GBI investigation, that particular individual revealed to tell the truth. So in fact, if you hire someone based on the fact that they tell the truth in GBI investigation, but the application itself, they falsify the application, the person should not have been hired for the position.
You know, I'm not going to sit here and tolerate him calling an individual falsified. If you have documents of an individual falsified,
right here, Sheriff.
Okay, sir.
All right,
That too. Why don't you report that to the GBI and have it investigated?
All right.
Secondly, I have your disciplinary file as well.
I got it too.
And I would be more than happy to show that to you. I can tell you in my disciplinary file, there's only one write-up, and it was resolved. And in yours, sir, if you want to talk about an individual,
All right,
let's talk about yours.
we have more questions we'd like to get to.
We can save our tennis match for outside, please.
And I'll finish it.
All right, please, let's.
We'll have time for 2 more questions in this debate.
All right, the next question is, what drives you to want to be the lead of Rockdale County Sheriff's Office? The secondary portion of this would be, what is the most important issue?
Microphone, Mike. Get on microphone, please.
I'm pretty loud.
Repeat that. Back here in the back. Nobody can hear you, sir.
Roger. What drives you to want to be the lead of the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office? And what is your most important issue that concerns you? What are your plans in that particular area? And who will be starting? Mr. Ferguson?
I have a passion to make sure that the citizens and stakeholders of Rockdale County are safe, secure, and have a better quality of life. And they live in a community that they're not in fear of victimization or fear of violent crimes in this particular community. I have the qualifications to do so. I have a master's degree in public administration from Georgia State University. I'm working on my doctorate degree in organizational leadership with organizational development from Grand Canyon University. I'm a graduate of Southern Police Institute. I'm a graduate of Georgia Command College. I have my undergrad degree in criminal justice, a BS, and also a BA degree in criminal and psychology from the University of West Georgia. I have extensive experience in law enforcement. I'm a graduate, again, of enormous law enforcement entities and having an understanding of community-oriented policing. I'm a master training instructor that would actually take Rockdale County Sheriff Department on a different level. I believe in enhancing the qualification and the quality of law enforcement personnel to ensure better and effective communication with law enforcement within this community, because this community needs that. There has to be a partnership within these citizens of Rockdale County and also our children. We need to have programs for our children. We need to address the issues for our senior citizens, and we need to stop having our particular community migrate to other counties because they're in fear of their quality of life and their safety in this community. And I stand for that, and I have a passion for that, and I can make sure it happens.
Thank you. Sheriff Levitt? Same question.
I'm sorry, can you repeat it again? I want to make sure I
What drives you to want to be the lead of Rockdale Sheriff's Office? What's the most important issue that concerns you, and what are your plans in that arena?
Well, first of all, many years ago, I set a goal, and my goal was to become sheriff of Rockdale County. That's my passion. I got in law enforcement again 23 years ago, and I've worked in law enforcement since that time. So my passion is always to protect and serve. I've shown that by working for an agency where I can respond to calls for service to help. I have done that even under almost 4 years of being sheriff of Rockdale County. My passion is I am the sheriff now, and therefore my goals is to continue to be the sheriff in this next election. My passion is crime. Again, I'm married, I have children, I have family here. I have a passion, I have a vested interest in Rockdale County for those particular reasons. You know, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And as I stated earlier, my opponent hasn't shown that. Because if he had, he would be involved more than he's portraying up here.
Thank you, gentlemen. Mr. Ferguson,
Yes, sir.
in 2008, the Rockdale Citizen reported that during your career with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, you were suspended on 4 separate occasions, resulting in a recommendation that you not have contact with the public and a demotion from sergeant to deputy. How do you reconcile those transgressions and ask the people of Rockdale County to trust your judgment going forward?
In 2008, I was not demoted to sergeant to deputy. My demotion from sergeant to deputy was in 1997. What had transpired in terms of my file, I was falsely accused of giving a detention officer having knowledge of detention of having a firearm, which a retired captain had that particular that knowledge. I actually overcame that appeal because I was double jeopardized, and it was brought by Sheriff Wigginton in the past. But I'm clear to that. There is also an article that identifies me being in clearance of that particular documentation, of that particular incident, that infraction. And I have that with me today. So I have no particular infractions on my record. And if Sheriff, when he looked in my file, he saw that because the first particular sanction I was given was verbal counseling. And then 2 months later, Sheriff Friedman gave me a 10-day suspension. It was an appeal that held over my head for 3 years, and I won my appeal. So, and they have that. They have that information. It's in my file, and I have it with me today.
For the record, Sheriff did pose that question.
Okay, I think that's all we have time for.
It's right here.
That's the report? Okay.
It's the report. It's the report.
Okay. Yeah, it's a question about a report from the Rockdale Citizen in 2000.
He has it.
Okay.
He has it.
That's it. That's all we have time for this debate. We've got to move on to the next one. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time. We appreciate it.
All right, everybody. I hope everybody stays at least for some more of the upcoming debates. Please don't leave just because this is over. We have lots of good stuff coming up, don't leave. Also, let's try to not have a little ping pong table match going back and forth. Really, the only person that's going to be a little bit of a donkey, and I'm trying to keep it PG-13, the only body that's going to be a donkey on the microphones today will be me. Let's try to keep us civilized. We have children in the room. I want to make sure nobody, gets offended by any measures being taken.
Terry Mahaffey, Sherry Washington.
The VFW wanted me to let you know that there's no alcohol being served during these debates, but right after the debate there will be.
Yeah, military Mike.
It was kind of on a veteran to come up with that one.
Are you buying, Mike?
No.
If you're buying, I'm flying.
Ghost one is next. I'll go ahead and get these out of the way.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all thank some of the veterans that you see today for them allowing us to be here. These guys are. I know these guys, from what we were hearing, they've been, not only are they retired and they're out of the service, they're also here on Mondays helping to keep the place built, keep it going, trying to do new stonework and just kind of bring it up for more of the younger generation too, because we want to make sure that all the fellas that have come home from foreign wars have a place here. So Military Mike works with me on the show. We try to make sure that we show all the veterans all the love we can. And I'm going to probably be doing, Mike's probably going to be doing some work here from this day on.
Yep.
All right, everybody, we're getting ready to do post one. Alex, whenever you're ready, sir.
Okay, then I would like, in no particular order, invite the candidates up to the stage. Sherry Washington, Franklin Buford, Terry Mahaffey, and Tua Barley. Absolutely.
It's just me? Okay, I'll take it.
We got the air conditioning on.
No, I'm saying this. Oh. I thought you said I was hot. It sounds sexy. We'll take it.
Taking photos off wrong, wouldn't it? Yeah. I can't sit here and compliment you and make it out like I'm talking to a woman. What's my wife back there?
Oh, no. You definitely don't want to have me.
I think we had it pretty well set up for you guys. I just want to fix it so you don't have to.
Excellent. Well, let's move on to this next debater real quick, so you can ask the questions of these people. And if we can have a conversation later if you'd like.
I'm trying to make it work with all these people.
All right. Michael Myers will be joining us at the moderators table. Of course, didn't give anybody the chance to give their opening statement in the first debate. This time you each get 2 minutes. You know what? We'll go from Mr. Buford all the way across. How's that? Does that sound fair? Okay.
Try speaking to see if it's loud enough.
That's it.
Yeah, there we go.
You got it?
Yeah.
You know?
Hey,
Sure.
just speak a little loud though with your voice.
And you have 2 minutes, sir.
2 minutes.
You can tilt it if the neck is down.
Hello, everybody. Thanks to VFW for hosting this great event. And being a military veteran, I applaud them for doing it. I'm Franklin Buford, and I'm running for Post 1, be your next commissioner for Post 1. With the experience, I've worked for public service for 4 decades, managed over 3,500 people, managing multi-million-dollar budgets, and I have a passion for people and a passion for this county. So with that, I want to be your next commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, I was quick. I had to reset my timer real quick. Ms. Washington, you have 2 minutes for your opening statement.
Good evening. My name is Sherry Washington, and I am offering myself for service as your next county commissioner for Post 1. I am a 12-year Rockdale County resident. I have lived here, worked here, played here, and loved this community for 12 years. When I got out of law school, I went to law school in Texas. I came straight here. I started my business here. I started my business with a bar card and a business card. I am an attorney. And I just started working and building up my relationship with the community. When I came out of law school and started in Rockdale County, I fell in love with the people of this community. So I wanted to use my time and talent to advance the community. I started doing community service projects with the NAACP. I've started numerous organizations, New Rock Legal Society. We do community service and try to bring the law to the community. We've had Know Your Rights forums. I am a founding member of the National Council of Negro Women. I'm also on the National Executive Board on the national level for the National Council of League of Women. I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, and my chapter actually services Rockdale County, so we do numerous community service projects there. I'm a member of the East Metro Orchids, which is another ladies organization that services this community, Rockdale, Newton, Walton counties, and we do all sorts of community service. I actually did Relay for Life on yesterday with the East Metro Orchids. I'm running for county commissioner because I am passionate about this community, but I am also focused on our future. We deserve the best Rockdale County that we can afford. We deserve the highest quality of life available, and I want to bring that to you. I'm dedicated, I'm dependable, I'm committed. Anybody who knows me knows that I will follow through, I will give everything my all, and I'm passionate, and I want to serve as your next county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was dead on 2 minutes, by the way.
And efficient.
Mr. Barley, 2 minutes for your opening statement, sir.
Thank you. I too want to thank the VFW and Good News Notebook for allowing us to debate today. I especially want to thank our veterans and the sacrifice that they have made for the liberties that we hold here dearly in America. My name is Tua Barley, and I have the honor of sitting here today to humbly ask for your vote and support for my candidacy as our next Rockdale County Commissioner. Because I believe that in order for us to see our future, we have to be our future. That means we have to be more intentional about our economic development, the types of businesses and industry that we attract to our community. I've had the privilege of serving on our Economic Development Council for the last 2 years. I've been to several economic development workshops. I'm currently the Economic Development Council Chair for our local chamber. We also have to be more intentional about our community development, the type of environment that we provide for the safety and protection of our residents. We started an initiative earlier this year to make sure that our community was clean and safe, because we know and understand that criminal elements will come to a community that's not clean. I had the fortune this morning of cleaning up our community with the Great American Cleanup. We had 41 people registered on my team, the largest team tied with a church, but we were the largest team as well. And so I appreciate that. But this election is going to be about 3 things. It's going to be about our service to our community, our commitment to our community, and our leadership within our community. Because I believe that in order for us to walk the walk, we must have, I believe that in order for us to now start to talk the talk, we must have walked the walk. And so I ask for your vote and support on May 24th, but most importantly, I ask for your prayers as I continue to share our message throughout the community. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Barley. And Mr. Mahaffey, 2 minutes for your opening statement, sir.
Can I stand?
Yes, you may.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Terry Mahaffey, and I want to tell you just a little bit about me. Some of you already know me. Quite a few of you in here don't know me. This afternoon and this morning, to tell you, to start my story, I spent time with the Blue Knights of Georgia. Blue Knights of Georgia are retired police officers and sheriff's deputies that ride motorcycles. And what we do is every year, we were at the Georgia Police Memorial Ride, and we were honoring nearly 700 officers that had been killed in the line of duty in the state of Georgia. And we spent a day doing that and raising funds for their families. That is very close to my heart, because in 2010, my son was killed in the line of duty. His line of duty death was gunfire here in Rockdale County. He was serving all of you out here in the audience and me. He gave his life. That's my inspiration to do what I'm doing and to be where I'm at right now. My experience is in working in private industry. I've worked with some of the largest corporations in America. I've dealt with billion-dollar corporations all the way down to small Main Street businesses, single proprietorships. I've made millions of dollars for those corporations, worked on projects that have saved corporations and small business owners tens and hundreds of millions of dollars. I know how to get things done. I know how to make things happen. Give me an opportunity, give me your vote, and let me go to work for you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahaffey. Michael, you have a question?
No. Good evening, Candace, and thank y'all for being here this evening. What are some of the initial changes that you would like to see as an interim commissioner? We'll start on this end with you, Mr. Mahaffey.
Would you repeat the question, please?
What are some of the initial changes that you would like to see as an interim commissioner?
Initial changes with the Board of Commission or initial changes with the operations in the county?
Operations within the county, sir.
Operations within the county, I would like to see our county spend a little more time understanding principle-centered leadership and looking at a lean type of management principle where we basically drive down to what the cheapest cost is to be able to produce the best product and best service for our customers. Our customers are the citizens of Rockdale County, me being one and you being one.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I think to answer your question, one of the most important things that we have to focus on, especially as incoming commissioners, is on our county budget. For the last 2 or 3 years, we've dipped into our county reserves at a tune of about $8 million per year. And so as a commissioner coming in, one of the most important things is to review that budget, because we only have, I think, 1 more year before we eat up all of our reserves, is to review that budget, look at where we can perhaps cut costs, and look at ways that we can bring innovative revenue to the community without possibly raising taxes. But I think one of the key things that is currently under works that may not affect us in the short term is House Bill 683 that was recently passed, that allows our county to create what's called tax allocation districts. And it allows places like Salem Gate Shopping Center to be used to incentivize developers to come into that area and provide an economic development stimulus. So I think the key thing that we need to address is our county budget, because some of the other initiatives that I'm passionate about, our community development initiative, our community policing and code enforcement, will only be achievable if we deal with our budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Washington.
Yes, I too think that our initial concern will be the budget. And looking at the budget, we need to make sure that all of our law enforcement, being our public safety with the sheriff's office, as well as fire and what is it, when the not, gosh, I'll go back to it in a minute. When that we are safe and secure in this community. We want to make sure that we have those resources allocated. Also, I think that we need to focus on eliminating blight, making sure that this community is nice and peaceful, calm looking, that we don't have raggedy houses and that our infrastructure is safe and secure, or safe and usable. Like I said, I want to work with law enforcement to make sure that we have everything that we need so that we can use our facilities, our playgrounds, and things like that.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Mr. Buford.
I too think the budget is the main issue, and we need to get with economic development. First, we need to work as a team with Rockdale County, team with colleges, and also bring in these revenue resources. Now, the other thing is the youth. The youth has nothing to do in Rockdale County. We need youth or rec youth program that we don't have. We have a youth program, but it's private owned. We need youth to have basketball. We have youth to have baseball, football, and the economic development will bring revenue into this city. But you cannot bring economic development in without educating your kids. Your children must be educated. The county must be clean.
Thank you, Mr. Buford. We actually have a follow-up to that question.
In reference to the comment that you made, Mr. Barley, you said that going into the budget and cutting costs, and you mentioned public safety. Give me your, I guess, definition in reference to cutting costs.
Correct.
And then it can go down from you to.
One of the things we have to do when we talk about cutting costs is we cut costs without affecting as much as we can with the resources that we have available. Public safety, both the sheriff's office and the fire department are one of the areas that would not be cut in a cost-cutting measure. I think one of the things we have to look at is also the revenue. We cannot cut costs without increasing revenue, because again, we're talking $8 million. It's not a situation where you simply cut costs and that's it. But I think when we talk about revenue as well, we have to be mindful that it's specific to the type of investments that we have. So a lot of the things that we've talked about here are going to be important to make sure that we continue to provide the resources and the services to our residents.
Thank you. Ms. Washington, you have 90 seconds as well.
So my issue is not necessarily looking at budget cuts, but also educating people on the need to shop locally in Rockdale County. We have a SPLOST, and that generates revenue for our county. How many people have bought something today? I went shopping, bought shoes, I bought food, I bought clothes. All of that I purchased in Rockdale County. Why? Why is that important that we purchased it in Rockdale County? Because the taxes that I paid on that services our county. So we need to start educating people that the money that you spend in this county is important. So that brings in more revenue so that we might not necessarily have to dip into into the reserve if we are generating more income. We can also, whenever we have, like I said, I'm a member of several organizations. So you bring the organizations here. We just had a function, my sorority, where we had 500 people at the jazz bar. So what that means is that those 500 people bought food, alcohol, and everything, and that is an economic development tool for this county. We have to encourage things like that to come to this county so that people can spend money and we can generate revenue on our taxes.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. And Mr. Buford?
Yes, shopping in this county is very important, but first you have to have places for people to buy their goods. Bring stores into this county where people want to shop. We shouldn't have to go to Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, or to Stonecrest to do your shopping. Bring some of those items into Rockdale County, and that goes back to economic development.
Can I just make a point of clarification?
Let's let Mr. Mahaffey give his answer real quick, and then we'll move to anybody that wants a rebuttal to the question.
Would you repeat it?
Would you repeat?
Yes, it was a follow-up question in reference to a comment that Mr. Barley made.
Budget cuts for public safety.
But budget cuts and then budget cuts in reference to public safety as well, sir.
I can assure the citizens of Rondale County that we're not gonna cut the budget for the emergency services. That we're gonna make sure that we provide what we need for emergency services. We're actually underpaid for emergency services. But if you look at what we have in the budget and what our county leaders, what our current board of commissioners have done with that money, it's been squandered. Contracts have not been negotiated correctly. We haven't gone out to get the most that we can for the least amount. We haven't done a good job in negotiating. And it takes someone to be able to go out there and negotiate and be able to work a deal, the art of the deal, and be able to make things happen. Every time that you go out and look to purchase something, you try to purchase it at the most reasonable price that you can. We don't just sit back and accept whatever the market's gonna offer us. And that's what we need to be able to do. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Do you have any children, obviously this is for everyone on the board, do you have any children that are in the Rockdale County school system? And how do you think the county can work together to provide better resources for our youth?
Ms. Washington, we'll start with you this time.
Well, I have a 25-year-old daughter who is a graduate of Rockdale County High School. My daughter is a shining example of Rockdale County, what Rockdale County school system can do, and I'm very proud of her. When she was going through school, I was on all kinds of PTOs, everything. I did everything to help her. She played basketball for Rockdale County. But what can we do? We can be an alliance. We can form an alliance with the school system. I am a recent appointee to the Superintendent's Advisory Council, and in that stead, I would like to form an alliance to see how we can have our school students transition out of high school and into the workforce. See if I've already been in contact, or people have contacted me about having a, maybe putting a technical college here in Rockdale County that would provide job assistance and job readiness for high school students that don't necessarily want to go to college. So those are things that I've already been working on in just as a candidate. And I will continue to work on whether I'm elected or not.
Thank you. Mr. Buford?
Obviously, I don't have any kids in public school here, but I do have grandkids in public school here. Daughter that lives here. When I moved here, she moved here with me. And we have 2 grandkids in public school here. They're enjoying it. They're getting a good education. And what I would like to do, I would like to work with the school board to help strengthen that education, because we never have enough.
Okay. And do you,
Mr. Mahaffey?
I had 2 sons that attended Rockdale County Public Schools from kindergarten through graduation. Both of them, it turned out very well. One went on to college and then went on and played professional soccer. The other, the oldest, and he left, once he finished high school, he got involved with law enforcement, and he served his time in law enforcement and served our community well. And he gave the ultimate sacrifice for our community. Now, our school systems at the time that they went through school, their graduation was in 2000 and 2003. We had national schools of excellence at that time. Currently, we don't. Our Board of Education needs help. They need someone to help guide them through the process. What we're looking at with our Board of Education is that we are one of the smallest counties in the state of Georgia. Actually, the second smallest. Our population is only about 88,000 people. But we are spending far more than 90% of all of the other counties or all the other municipalities or Board of Educations in the state per child, per capita.
Thank you. And Mr. Barley?
I do not currently have children going to school here in Rockdale County. My son just got accepted to the Davis program in band, so we're working on his drum skills to make sure he gets in. I've been serving on the Superintendent's Advisory Council for the last year. In fact, when I leave here today, I'm going to our scholarship, public school foundation, where I've supported for the last 3 or 4 years. So we've been very passionate about this community from an education standpoint. When I was literacy chair of our local Rotary Club, not only did we adopt Flat Shoals Elementary, and when I say adopt, doesn't necessarily mean we gave money, but we were there from a logistics standpoint when they were doing the math and science night. We were there serving as career day speakers when they asked for us to come in. We were there when we were cleaning up or planting grass in the playground because the rain had washed through, and we were there fixing that. So we have been passionate in working within our education system. And lastly, Early Learning Center. We partnered with the Early Learning Center and the First Foundation to give books to low-income families, because we recognize that kids from 0 to 5 years of age, if they read 1 book a month, that they exceed their peers in every benchmark. So we've been working within this county system to make sure that our education system is the best for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you. We have, it appears, one more question from the public, and then we're going to move on to moderator questions. Go ahead, Mike.
all right, this is obviously for everyone again. When did you start to live in Rockdale County, and what attracted you to Rockdale County? And I'm not sure where you explain. Could you join us?
Mr. Buford, it's your turn. Sorry.
I moved to Rockdale County 13 years ago. And what attracted me to Rockdale County from DeKalb County was trying to find a better place for my family to live. While living here, I got involved with the community, appointed to the ethics board, and decided that when there was an opening on this commissioner, I wanted to join in. Rather than be a Monday morning quarterback, I decided I would join the team and make some plays. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mahaffey?
My family goes back in Rockdale County for well over 100 years. I'm vested in this county. My son gave his life for it. I've been here myself since the early to mid 60s. My wife was born and raised in Rockdale County. Both of my children were born and raised in Rockdale County. And we came here because my grandparents found this place back in the early 1900s, and they loved it. And they brought the rest of our family here. I've been here, I've been through a lot of things with the county. I've saw it grow, and as you'll notice from the people up here on the panel that we're dealing with, they came to this county because we were the little oasis just east of Atlanta. And they moved in. And that's the reason why they came. Now, what we need to do is we need to do the things to be able to invite more people here. We need to produce the type of environment where we can foster growth, we can foster economic growth, and we can make room for more people to come into our county. Right now, we suffer from an issue with our water treatment facility where we can't have tiles. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barley.
I'm a recent resident of this community. I've had a business here since 2004 and owned that business since 2006. When that economy crashed in 07, I was primarily from between, when I moved here in 4 and up to maybe 2007, I did not participate in this community at all. When that recession hit, I went from 4 employees to just me doing everything, from computer work to cleaning, and it forced me to get out into the community. And one of the organizations that I joined and I had a privilege of being accepted to was our Leadership Rockdale program. And I went through that program in 2008, 2009, and I grew passionate about this community. If it had not been for the recession, I would have moved here as soon as I graduated that program. Because they asked each of us, our residents, they asked each of our cohorts, what can you do to be an impact in our community? And since then, from leading our chamber to leading our Rotary Club, I have tried to be as impactful as possible. I've taken 30 and 40 individuals to our neighboring county to learn about future planning and community planning. We've established a leadership collaborative here all through the works, not mine alone, but through the community that we find ourselves in. And so that's why I'm passionate about the things that we're doing here within Rockdale County. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barley. Ms. Washington.
As I've stated, I moved here in 2004. Like I said, I moved straight from, I went to Texas Southern University for law school. I actually am licensed in Texas. I took the Texas bar and I came back. I said I was going to stay in Houston. I'd gone to law school there and I entrenched myself in that community, and I had a job there, grading on bar results and everything. But then 2 things happened. I had a 12-year-old cousin who passed away, and then my sister who had sickle cell found out she was expecting. And if you know anything about sickle cell, that's a very, very hard pregnancy. She was a single mom, so I knew she was going to need me here. So I said, okay, everything that I was going to do there, I can do here. She lived here. When I started doing the research, I said at that time, my daughter was a freshman in high school. I said, wait a minute, Rockdale County has some of the best school systems in the state of Georgia. Why would I go anywhere else? And I needed for my daughter to go to a public school at that time. Well, I probably would now too. But so I said, let me entrench myself in this community, and I started getting involved, and I fell in love. I fell in love with Old Town. I fell in love with the parks. I fell in love with the community. I started working with the NAACP. I fell in love with the people. And so I started using my time and talent. I took the Georgia bar. I actually took the DC bar first and took the Georgia bar, and I got involved with our homeowners association. So that's why I came, and that's why I'm still here, and that's why I want to be your next county commissioner.
Thank you, Ms. Washington. Mr. Buford.
I'm clear with 3 of the candidates. The question was answered, but I think one wasn't answered, but not to my Ms. Washington, I'm clear with you. Mr. Barley, I don't think you explained to us how long you lived here. You said how long you had a business here.
Do you want to address that?
Yes. I've been a resident in Rockdale County since July of 2015, which would be a recent resident.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Buford, do you want to use the rest of your time to?
Oh, you already answered.
Okay. All right, we actually did come up, we have one more question from the public. Who's up first? Secretary. We'll start with you, Mr. Mahaffey. How do you propose to repair the roads in the county that are badly in need of repairs? And they give the examples such as Oglesby Bridge Road.
You guys ever drive down Oglesby Bridge Road? You drive down any other county roads that we have? Have you noticed what's been done to them? Not much, right? They look pretty bad. We have a lot of equipment in this county that we spend a lot of money for, and it sits idle about 75 to 85% of the time. Our current Board of Commissioners has not made it a priority to keep our roads safe for us. We need to go out, address the roads. We used to have a pothole patrol, and it would advertise on Channel 23. I don't know if any of y'all ever see it or know anything about it, but there needs to be an open line to be able to call in and talk about the roads. We need to send out the engineer that we have in the county, address the road, set the priorities, and go out and repair it. We have the money in SPLOSH funds. Our SPLOSH Oversight Committee has not made sure that those things get taken care of. So our commission needs to step up and lead and not try to lead from behind. We need leaders, not someone that just sits back and talks but don't walk the walk. I will walk the walk. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Barley.
I too live off of Oglesby Bridge, and I pass those potholes. I actually know how to swerve through them right now. Let me just clarify. The SPLOST funds are on capital expenditures, which includes roads improvements. You have a citizen oversight committee made up of citizens, and they ask for citizen insight, and that committee is the one that determines which roads get fixed based on the funds that are allocated. And it's a difficult decision, and we leave it to the oversight committee. The Board of Commissioners has no purview over that committee, and so it's important for us to understand that. If you have insight or if you have input, great. Let the committee understand where those inputs need to be, and so that they can address some of the issues that are going on with our roads. The majority of our roads, the main thoroughfares that come into our community are actually state highways. And I know the question wasn't specifically addressed to those, but it's about the relationships that we have with GDOT and the state that will determine how we address some of our state highways that come through our community.
Thank you. Ms. Washington?
Yes. Mr. Barley almost took the words right out of my mouth. But the difference is, I think that we should have a group of people. If you complain to me about the roads on Oglesby Bridge Road, then I'm going to refer you to the SPLOST committee. I want you to go and have your voice heard. I want you to tell them that this needs to be a priority because you need your tires, pretty much. I want you to, this is a community effort. It's not us saying, okay, we are the Board of Commissions and everything we do is for us. We're doing this for you all, but we need for you all to have your voices heard at SPLOST committee meetings, at the Board of Commissions meetings. We need to hear from you so that we can direct you to the appropriate place so that we can get your roads repaired, the transportation expanded. We will use our relationship so that we can alleviate a lot of the traffic. I say all the time, it doesn't make sense to live in Conyers and have Atlanta traffic. But those are things that we need to work on, and transportation is one of my #1 priorities.
Thank you.
I believe that RDOT, which is Rockdale Department of Transportation, should have more sense of urgency in fixing these potholes and these bad streets. Now, we can talk about SPLOSH all day long, but there's some things that happen on your day-to-day operation. So you have to have that come from the day-to-day operation manager, whomever that may be, whether it be the chairman or the board, or whomever, or the county manager. They need to get out there and fix those potholes in Main Street. We're talking about SPLOSH, we're talking about major repair. So we don't have to wait on the SPLOSH committee to do that. Thank you.
Can I rebut that because
You can have 30 seconds. Everybody, if you're named, by the way, in a response, you are entitled to a 30-second rebuttal.
the reason why I asked for the rebuttal is because they brought up the SPLOSH as I'm starting to address that. We also have a second 1 cent tax in our county, which is a post, and it's for maintenance and operations of the county. And the maintenance of the county includes the roads. And we're not getting what we're paying for, what we are paying for, not at all. And our current board has not made sure of that. I'd like to just point that out.
Thank you. Michael, you have a question? You had a question? Okay, I'll ask the question.
Got Mike and Michael up here, so.
No, no, no. So, who are we going? We're starting, I believe, with Mr. Barley. Do you have any planned changes to taxation in Rockdale County? Also, I want to add to that, we've operated at a deficit and we've dipped into the reserves on a fairly regular basis in the county. How do you plan to address that and fix that issue?
I made an open records request for the budget a few weeks ago. I have not had a chance, obviously been campaigning, to review it. I don't want to rule taxation out, but I think before we jump into raising taxes, we also have to look at other means of raising revenue, and also look at cost-cutting measures, because I think that's important. I don't want to sort of handhold and say this is what we're going to do in a year without having to sit on that side of the table and review the budgets and have the opportunity to actually look at the specifics on what needs to be addressed.
Thank you, Mr. Barley. Ms. Washington?
I have no immediate plans to change or to increase any taxes. I do believe that we should, as Mr. Barley says, do a thorough analysis of the budget. And like I said before, we need to educate more people on the importance of shopping locally, spending your money, making your dollars work and count here in Rockdale County. But if we do everything that if we have cut every corner that we can, if we have generated more revenue or the sales become stagnant, and we have to raise the budget to give us, raise taxes to give us the quality of life that we need, then I would not be opposed to it.
Okay, thank you. And I'm sorry, let me reset this. And Mr. Buford, give you a minute to answer the question. Scott, can you fix that microphone real quick for us? Thank you. Sorry, sir.
I have no plans to raise the taxes. That's the last thing that I would do. But I think we need to do an analysis of what's the budget are in this county, the budgets are in this county, and the needs, and try to find other resources. Three things that I would love to do in this county. I would support the sheriff department, fire department, and not raise taxes. But we have to look at other measures of raising revenue in this county.
Okay, and Mr. Mahaffey?
I'd like to ask how we're going to raise other revenue in the county. That's in a tax form. Any other revenue that the county raises is going to have to be in a form of a tax somehow. Are you guys ready to pay more taxes? Do you think you get a fair service for what you're paying for right now? Do you think your current board of commissioners have served you well? Look at what they have done to our government and to our county over the last 8 years. Go back 16 years. It has been failure after failure after failure. They don't lead by example. Take, for instance, our chairman. Our chairman demanded that he wanted a brand new 4-wheel drive Expedition to drive. Lord help. Why couldn't we get a cheaper, more economical vehicle? Why couldn't we lead and say, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to talk the talk, and now I'm going to walk the walk. But we have done the same thing. Look at the fuel contract that he signed and that the board went along with a couple of years ago, where we were paying twice the amount per gallon of gasoline for all the county vehicles. This is what your board has done to you over the last 8 years. Any of those gentlemen that are out there, ladies or gentlemen that are out there, this is what the Board of Commissioners have done to you. Someone is going to have to come in, start from the beginning, and go through line by line.
Your time's up, Mr. Mahaffey.
Excuse me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mike?
Did you answer the question, Joe?
Yes, thank you.
All right. I think all of you have somewhat answered in reference to economic development and making sure that we are heading in that direction. So my question would be, I guess not should the county be encouraging economic development? Obviously, y'all all feel that way. But how do you see us doing this, and how do you see yourself accomplishing us growing in terms of economic development?
Ms. Washington?
We'll start with Ms. Washington.
I think we need to have a marketing plan for Rockdale County where we extol our virtues. This is a great county. It just, when you walked in, when you drove in, you passed a lake that it just pops up out of nowhere. We have those kinds of resources all over the county. We have great recreational facilities. We have great people. I think that we have our own unique resources. This is a great community. So we start a economic development platform that showcases our unique attributes. We keep promoting those attributes. We become ambassadors for this county as individuals, as county commissioners, as the city council, and wherever we are, we're promoting Rockdale County. That way, when there are large or economic development opportunities, they start coming to us. They start remembering. It's just like any other marketing strategy. They start remembering, oh, well, Rockdale County has that attribute. And then the people will come to us. We create our own niche market. We stop trying to compete with Johns Creek or Milton or people, places that don't have the same resources that we do. But all of you all that are sitting out here because you're passionate about this county. You become ambassadors to this county. You bring the information to us, and we can still go out and promote this county and get economic development here. Like I said, encourage your friends and family to shop here. And okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay, thank you. Mr. Buford?
Yes, we keep talking about encouraging friends and family to shop here, but first we have to bring businesses here so we want to shop here. Because every time we want something different, we have to travel far away to get it. Lennox Mall, Stonecrest, you name it, we have to get there. But through economic development, we need to bring more businesses in this county so we will want to shop here. Right. Most people don't want to shop here because we have no place to go. You know, we just can't shop here just for the sake of shopping here. You know, we got to find some businesses here so that we want to shop. We don't have a Whole Foods. We don't have all those kind of amenities that we have in other places. Those are the kind of things that economic development should be bringing to this county.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mahaffey?
Economic development is key to Rockdale County. And it doesn't have to be large corporations. We need small businesses, medium-sized businesses that can come in. Retail operations where we can collect a splosh tax, where people from outside the county and inside the county can pay the 1% and we can have a little more money going into the splosh. But what we need to do is look around the county as a government and where can we go and help business develop. We need to partner with those people that are out there and help them be able to develop. The business person, the entrepreneur that wants to open and start a business, we need to work with that person and find a way to be able to help them get that business started, get that location. What can we do working together to make the county better and to bring business into the county? Those are the questions we need to ask, and we need to find a way to go out there and do it. Those are things that I've done in the past. I know what businesses want. I know what corporations want. I know how to talk their talk. I know how to get them to come to us. Thank you.
Thank you. And let me reset here, sorry. And Mr. Barlow?
Yes, as having served on the Economic Development Council the last couple of years and current Economic Development Council Chair of the Chamber, it's a question that we've been asking for the last 3 or 4 years. Now, what we have to do, and as I said in my opening statement, to be more intentional about economic development. That means we have to determine and identify which particular niche or industry we want to attract here. And that's going to be the key. What we have to do, and I had the privilege of going to an economic development workshop just earlier this year in New Orleans, paid my way because we didn't have the funds, so that was fine. but we have to start asking ourselves a question. We have to do an internal analysis of our situation, find what resources we have currently, what warehouse space we have available. So we have to do sort of an internal analysis to determine what industry would be a best fit for us. And so that niche, having found that niche, you then allocate resources towards that. So for instance, you want to make sure that you create an incubator system so that the small business owners who are affiliated with that industry niche can thrive. So you create an environment where you're introducing those small business owners to that industry. But you also have to make sure from a workforce development standpoint that our education, our school system is in line with whatever niche it is. Now, once we've developed that niche as a community, we also have to create that niche as a corridor, the East Corridor. So DeKalb, Rockdale, and Newton have to work together to make sure that niche is there. Because you'll see it working in the Alpharetta Corridor, you'll see it working in the Northern Suburbs as well, and we have to create that along our way as well.
Thank you. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for questions for this debate, time constraints. What we'll like you to do is take 90 seconds for a closing statement. And I don't know who's up now.
I think it's going to.
I'll
Is
go
it?
first.
Mr. Buford? Yeah, it's your turn. And a closing statement, 90 seconds, sir.
Well, as I stated earlier, I have 4 decades of public service. I have managed to be responsible for more than 3,500 people. I have managed multi-million-dollar budgets. So, and I've negotiated, we talked about negotiating contracts. And most of all, I've negotiated successfully union contract because out of the 3,500 folks I had, there was 2,000 were union. So I'll say to all of you all, I want you to vote on May 2nd through the 24th. And when you vote me as your next commissioner, I'll be deemed as commissioner ready because I need no experience because I have it. All I need to know is where the restroom is and how to get around the office.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Mahaffey?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me say again, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening to me tonight. Hopefully, you got a little insight about me and what I'm about and what I can provide for you, what service I can provide for you, what I can do for you. I want this job, and I want to be able to do it so that I can do it for the citizens of Rockdale County and for the betterment of the county. I think I've got a way that I know how to get this done. I'm the type of person that goes out and I get things done. I find a way to do it. I've learned over the years how to make money, not take money, and how to do a whole lot more with a whole lot less. And that's one thing that I bring to the table. I bring to the table 35 years of manufacturing and industrial experience, dealing with tens of thousands of people, unions, government regulatory agencies, all the way up and down the line. So I am first day ready and ready to go. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mahaffey. Here, Mr. Barley.
Thank you. I again want to thank everybody for coming out and listening to us. This is an opportunity to continue to share our message here. Again, it's about service within the community. It's about commitment to our community. It's about leadership within our community. For me, this run for commissioner is simply an extension of the service that I provided to this community. I've had the honor and privilege of winning multiple awards and accolades, all as a result of my work within Rockdale County. This is not a position that I take lightly. This is something that I've researched, that I've followed through, and that I'm excited and looking forward to doing. And I ask again for your vote and support on May 24th. If you have an opportunity, because we did not have a chance to share everything that we wanted to do as a campaign, please visit my campaign website at barleyforrockdale.com. Again, it's barleyforrockdale.com. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to give us a call at 678-835-VOTE, 678-835-VOTE, and be sure to continue to ask us questions about the campaign. But thank you again for letting us share our message this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Barley. And Ms. Washington, you get to finish up for us tonight.
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that Mr. Buford said that there's no place to shop in Rockdale. Everything that I have on, with the exception of this jacket, I purchased from Rockdale County. The shoes, the skirt, my underwear, everything. I had on an outfit earlier today that I had on some capris. I had an embroidered shirt that I got embroidered from at a local establishment. I have a Yeti cup over there that I bought from Cowan, Ace Cowan, and I got it engraved at I'm saying all that to say that you can shop Rockdale County. Every tax dollar counts. I want to increase the revenue in this community. I think that we can do that by implementing a concise economic development strategy. I would like your vote, May 24th, 2016. I want to be your next county commissioner. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Washington, and thank you all the candidates. We appreciate you coming in. We're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to start with the chairman's break.
All right, everybody, let's give them a round of applause. And I thought that was going to be the comic relief. All I can say is now I know we've got plenty of draws in Rockdale. If you come to our morning show, it's very rare me and Mike's even wearing it. So, I mean, ask Jen Trainwreck knows. She used to say, please tell me you're wearing underwear. We got a guest coming in today. Look at her face. She's turning 7 shades of red. All right, everybody, feel free to go use the restroom, get you a nice glass of water. We will be right back momentarily.
You're off. That was awesome. Come to our show, we might not be wearing any. Hey, both y'all come here real quick. Oh yeah, let's wait a minute. Go that way.
out right there. You guys, right across from me.
Left side of that road.
Everybody, we've gone over our 5 minutes. Some of us are running to the bathroom one last time. Everybody, get ready to sit down. We're going to get this puppy started. right, everybody. We're doing it. Our 5 minutes did go over just a hair, but I think we're just fine, just fine. All right, now let's go back on.
Thank you very much. We're going to go ahead and start the debate for Commission Chairman. If I could ask Mr. Nesbitt and Mr. Hadley to come up to the stage. Yes, yeah, we're going to be asking all these questions. We have some from the Well, I'd like to welcome Tax Commissioner R.J. Hadley and Post 1 Commissioner Oz Nesbitt to the stage. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And I'll let you guys fight over who goes first.
Hang up the table, we get them turned on.
Ding ding. All right, gentlemen.
Testing.
And we're going to start with 2 minutes. We'll begin with 2 minutes for an opening statement.
Well, good evening. I want to thank everybody for hanging in there with us. I know the hour is late, so I will
stay.
I'll be brief. My name is R.J. Hadley, and I do currently serve you as your tax commissioner. I come to you today to seek your support and your vote for chairman of Rockdale County. And as we heard early on, what we've experienced over the last 8 years has been division, things that divide us and separate us. And it hasn't, I don't think, allowed us to move forward to our full potential. Rockdale County has everything that it needs to be the county that you want it to be. But the question is, do you believe the best thing for this county is ahead of us, or do you believe it's behind us? Do you, as the citizens, believe that? I believe it's in front of us. I believe we just need to come together, all that we do. We're not going to talk about division of people who've been here forever and the people who are just coming in. Black versus white, city versus county. Meanwhile, we're looking around as we have those divisions and we see other counties moving forward. So I'm asking you to join me. May 24th, May 2nd, early voting begins. I'm at rjhadley.com, and I feel free to look as we're debating, rjhadley.com, and to also feel free to text me at 678-374-9828. I would love to be in touch with you. Thank you.
For the past 8 years here in Rockdale County, a bird's eye view of what it takes to move this community forward. I've been a part of the budget process, interacting with all of our different departments throughout county government. More importantly, I've been visible, vocal, and in the community, hands-on with the people. The ability to communicate and articulate a message by listening to the people of this community, knowing how to be able to build relationships and build rapport, not just with the county stakeholders, but all of the stakeholders in our community, be it the city government, the school board, and other players that make Rockdale County the community that it is. It is time to move Rockdale forward, and it's time to move Rockdale forward with the right consistency, level of commitment, level of passion, and understand what we need to move our community forward for every single citizen in Rockdale, whether he's Republican or Democrat, black, and understanding what
Thank you.
citizens be a part. I believe that the fact that no amount of time, a sense of urgency. Oftentimes there are basic things in day-to-day operation that does require a strong sense of urgency. There are other things due to the political process and due to bureaucracy of government
has to be a part of the process, and it takes a little longer. But being effective includes being able to listen, being able to build those relationships with every citizen of the community. So I believe that my office, inside of the Board of Commissioners office at 962 Millstead Avenue upstairs, soon to come downstairs, is the most effective office inside the building.
Arthur, I believe Arthur Vaughn in the audience. Just to remind you, I'm reading these questions as they're written. Since the BOC has drawn from the reserves the last 2 years, if the 2017 budget also reduces the fund balance, how will the BOC balance the remaining budget during your term, assuming insufficient funds? Commissioner Nesbitt?
Well, I didn't vote for the last budget that was passed, if you're paying attention to what's going on. And I did not vote for the current budget that we're operating on. I will tell you moving forward, as I mentioned earlier, that I will be here when November comes, and I'll be a part of the 2017 budget planning process. I think when you talk about tackling how we're going to be able to move forward as relates to the budget, again, being a part of the government and a part of the Board of Commissioners office gives me that advantage of knowing what we're going to have to do in terms of services, in terms of what has to be done to deliver services to our community, and in terms of the tax revenue that is coming in. So it's up to the citizens in terms of what they want. I think it was talked about a little earlier here about someone posed a question as to whether you all want to raise taxes. Well, I'm not interested in that, not one bit. But I do understand this. If the tax revenue is not coming in, then we're going to have to make some decisions, and some tough decisions. As your next chairman, I have to be in that ability. I have to have the ability to make those tough decisions in terms of where we go from here. And that may include services without question. There's no easing or tiptoeing around that. That's the real fact to it.
Thank you, Commissioner Nesbitt.
Well, it's not an easy thing to overcome $8 million in one budget cycle. But one thing that I will say is what I've seen over the last sitting down at the table to work out issues, and that when you come up with a solution and that someone does make that final decision, that they feel like you're making.
All right, it's seeking assistance in either reducing or waiving the liquor license fee or elimination of fees when $80 was paid. There are other Georgia counties that do.
You talk about several things came out of that question. I mean, you had several things, but let me just talk about one of them, just a few of them. Number one, when you talk about economic development for the community, I think it's important that we have a set of rules and we follow our rules. I also believe that we have to be open-minded to exploring new things that are not currently happening or taking place in Rockdale County in terms of how we build relationships with small businesses and entrepreneurs, as well as 501c3s, such as the VFW. It's important that if we allow the VFW or the American Legion or any other nonprofit organization a waiving on any particular license, we afford that same opportunity to other folks as well. But then I also heard the point of accountability, because he pointed out one of our departments who's responsible for establishing those guidelines, which is planning and development. We have to make sure that we have the leadership in those departments that can cater up with the needs, so you have to be open-minded.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Haddon?
First, I want to say it's unacceptable that there was no reply to your request, period. That's just unacceptable. Any reply to your elected officials should be worthy. But from my point of view, and that's on camera somewhere. So yes, I would be in support.
Many cameras.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You have a question, Mike, yeah?
I do. What do you see are the most pressing needs for infrastructure or capital projects within our county? And I believe this time we'll start with Commissioner Haddon.
Well, infrastructure is going to be what was talked about earlier in terms of water and access to sewer and that type of thing further throughout the county. That affects large-scale businesses that you want to be able to bring in. But then also, as was mentioned, just basic level road repair. People want to be able to travel on the roads and feel like they don't have to die. Well, gee, Commissioner's just cleaning up our streets. But again, that has an economic development impact. You want a business to come here, they get off of the Sigmund Road exit, and they look around and say, you want me to invest here, but your community has not shown that they want to invest in themselves.
Thank you. Commissioner Nesbitt?
I have to agree that our greatest asset in Rockdale County in terms of infrastructure is our water, RWR, our water sewer system. It's important that we build ourselves up in such a way that we can attract manufacturing and industry that matches up with the workforce and the skill set that we have here in our community. That's just one of those things in terms of infrastructure. If you've been paying attention to me on social media, you see that I've championed the cause to go after the issue of these potholes that are everywhere. I heard them mention Oglesby Bridge Road the other day, but I'm not sure if any of you all have a chance to drive down McCalla Road or McKellar Road, however it's pronounced, but that road is completely tore up from the floor up. And we have issues that it doesn't require for long-term planning when we can go in and bring about a level of sense of urgency. So that's part of it, but code enforcement is a nightmare in this county. And I've championed that cause just this week. I've gone out into several areas, and because I've shined the spotlight on it, we're now getting results. You can talk to the good people over at Laurelwood Subdivision, or you can go to folks over at Fieldstone View, and they'll tell you that because Committee 276 Country Trace is sitting there without any attention.
Thank you.
I'd like to rebut that.
Sure, 30 seconds, sir.
And I wish my other opponent was here as well. You don't come at a problem by attacking your employees. That's not the answer. If you look at that situation, it's not about code enforcement, it's about the resources that code enforcement have been given to do their job. And I just want to state that we've seen this back and forth over the past 8 years, and it's not fair to the good employees that come to work every day to do their jobs.
Thank you. Commissioner Nesbitt, it's been implied that the post 1 and 2 seats are impotent positions and that the current chairman manages with a my way or the highway style. As chairman, how do you intend to integrate the post 1 and 2 seats into your administration as a part of the policy, budget, and management process?
Well, let me speak from real experience. I've been the post 1 commissioner for the past 8 years. So I've sat there having to deal with the absent person that's not here in terms of creating discord and division among the board. It does take a collaboration of all three of us to work together in harmony. I'm a proof positive that it will work, so that being the next chairman of the county, I understand it's important that I build a relationship, a positive relationship with both post 1 and post 2, and to incorporate them in the thinking process and the planning process and the vision for Rockdale County. That comes through great communication and collaboration. I understand that the people have elected both post 1 and post 2, so they play a very vital role in the forward progress of this community. It's about building relationship. It never can be my way or the highway.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner Hadley.
Thank you. Absolutely. I am about collaboration, partnership. I want to say come off the stage and get down on the table, down on the floor, sit down there with the people who have elected you into the office, and you work out your problems. What we've seen back and forth on TV. Now listen, it's not just us watching this show, watching these videos. It's also people outside the community. And when I travel the state a lot, and people say, when there's been an issue going on at the meeting, wow, what's going on in Rockdale County? So again, that's economic development. When your leadership, they set that tone. And I believe that post 1 and post 2, I'm about team. And that's what you will have. You will have a team of leaders when you vote for RJ Hadley.
Thank you
Can
very
I
much.
respond to that?
Yes, sir, you may.
I want to say that my colleague sitting to my right, Commissioner Hadley, had that opportunity to lead the team as the Chief of Staff. He was Chairman Odom's first campaign manager and the Chief of Staff for Chairman Odom when he first came in office. In terms of being able to be a good liaison and negotiate between Post 1 and Post 2 during his tenure, that for Commissioner Hadley at that time. So it does take clear vision, clear understanding, someone who can balance and juggle and communicate between two people and get it done effectively.
Mayor Rebecca?
Yes, you may.
It was a challenge. It was admittedly a challenge. You had two strong personalities that, to my intention, were not focused on the needs of the people. See, that's how you set ego and that type of thing aside. When you're focused on what do your folks need? How are they going to get jobs? How are they going to get to those jobs? How are they going to get their kids in school? Let's put all this other stuff aside. My opponent knows that he was there in those meetings as well. That's not something that we can talk about. But I did the job that I was appointed to do.
Thank you, sir.
All right, when managing a public agencies, is it better to have more employees at a modest wage or fewer employees at a wage which is high enough, and you know what, I apologize, this question isn't coming out correctly. And I know it was written a certain way, but I'm gonna have to try to correct this. A modest wage with few employees, or a huge or higher wage to attract higher quality applicants?
One of the biggest problems we're having in Rockdale County, all over county government, is employee retention. Having the ability to be able to attract the right talent, the right skill set is critically important to moving this county forward. First and foremost, we must market and advertise wages that match a fair market value based upon the demographics and the job that's being done. There's no way we can continue to be a training ground for firefighters, law enforcement officers, and other professionals throughout our county who come in, pick up 6 months, a year, 2 years worth of experience, some certifications, then they go out to elsewhere to make more money. So it's important that we have a fair market compensation package that can attract right talent into Rockdale County and be able to hold those people at the same time.
Yes, sir.
It's important.
You never know.
It's important that people be able to come to work at a wage that they can survive on. And what I've tried to do is not so much focus on empire building and adding people. You know, with technology and efficiency, you can work with what you have, but you also have to have a mindset for your staff and what you can do to raise that wage to a living wage.
Thank you. Commissioner Hadley, one area that outside investors look to before moving into a county is transportation. Can you identify any current transportation deficiencies we face in Rockdale County, and how would you plan to address them?
Well, on the basic level, we have a deficiency of just something that's basic to transit, and that's just sidewalks, just like getting people from one area to another. It's not, we are part of Metro Atlanta, and we need to connect with that Metro Atlanta. People are worried about buses, or they're worried about trains because they're worried about people coming in and that type of thing. You've got to think that people need to be able to get to jobs until we can build better jobs here. And people need ways to get there. And so I'll be open, and I'm hoping that my fellow commissioners will be open to any options that we can do to improve transportation within our community and connecting us to Metro Atlanta.
Thank you. Commissioner Nesbitt.
Well, currently there's a commuter rail through Greta that takes citizens downtown Atlanta to work, back and forth to work each and every day. I'm open to increasing that number of the frequency and perhaps even adding a new depot or terminal so that we can pick up more people and offer out to more people to get off the road in terms of the congestion that's on I-20 going westbound Monday through Friday. Right here locally in our own county, I think improving our infrastructure when we talk about roads in our county, we can set ordinance as a board of commissioners that will require that new development includes sidewalks.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mike?
All right, next question. If new resources were available, what one area of county services do you feel is in the most need? I mean, well, obviously, both of you gentlemen just commented on transportation. So let's not just reiterate that. What additional county service do you feel is in the most?
The roads in Rockdale County Public Schools. We only have one park and rec facility known as Johnson Road. In terms of basketball, Metro Atlanta, students have to come together at one time.
Thank you, Commissioner. And Commissioner?
I believe that if that was enough to meet the needs of the sheriff and the chief, then I would like to look at what we need for our youth. You know, I'm involved in 4-H, I'm involved in Boys and Girls Club, Boy Scouts, and that is important. If we're going to think about our future, and we're going to think about what we need to do over the summers and that type of thing, additional rec centers, additional programs to keep these guys occupied.
Can I repeat that as well?
Yes, sir.
Let me say this, my number one top priority for Rockdale County is May 27th, the kids are going to be out for the summer. When you give them options, I want to give.
Following up on public safety, we have a question from Manuel in the audience. Police roadblocks to check for insurance or proper registration. It was in it was a question for the commission chairman.
I served 15 years in law enforcement, and let me just tell you, I support public and to its community that we're able to detect, deter, and determine those negative elements that are passing through our community. Just simply by the sheriff's office or the police department having a roadblock or a sobriety checkpoint, it allows them to discover a whole lot of other things about who's inside of our community, and we can get those people out. Most of the crime that's taking place in Rockdale, it takes place from people who visit and come into Rockdale who don't reside here. So I want to see the sheriff's department have a checkpoint and a roadblock and a sobriety checkpoint as often as his personnel and time allows them to do that.
Thank you, Commissioner Hadley.
2 points, public safety and then tax revenue. For public safety, if those can get on that plane and get to my destination safely. And if that's what our law enforcement leaders believe are needed to keep us safe, then I'm all for it. On the tax side, if there are people that are getting benefit from our community and they're not insured here and they're not registered here, if you're here draining school resources or any other resource of the county and you actually have not registered, you know, people sometimes for admissions reasons or other things, they want to register.
Technology is a driving force toward growth and efficiency. Can you identify any technical deficiencies in the county that need to be addressed immediately?
Yes. Our MIS and IT department in Rockdale County needs an extreme makeover. I know that this presentation is being recorded for quality assurance. So I know with what I just said, somebody's going to take that back. So let me repeat it very clearly. Oftentimes during the course of a week, our different departments throughout Rockdale County are up, down, no phone system, no computer system, so that's non-productivity. Several of you all, as tax-paying citizens, have come in to do business or attempt to do business with the county, and they tell you we're not able to do it because the computer system is down, or you have called one of the county departments or offices and you've not been able to get through. Or you've gone in to pay your water bill and they've handwritten you a 1970-something bill. So MIS, IT needs an extreme makeover so that all of our securities from a computer standpoint are up to par, but productivity is where it needs to be. So we need to address that immediately.
Thank you, Commissioner. And you, Commissioner Hadley?
We do. If it's not that way, then you have to look to leadership as to how that has remained in place over a period of time. And I know I have suffered from it over the last 4 years.
Say what it is, RJ. But we're not a board, we're candidates right now. And Mr. Odin is not here, you mentioned lack of leadership.
Leadership is important. You have to look to that if you are seeing.
I'd like to follow up on that question quickly. There are obviously some deficiencies in the county. Do either of you feel that the citizens would be better served by outsourcing some of these services to third parties, or do you believe in fixing them from within?
Well, let me tell you, as a sitting commissioner for the last 8 years and having to source our services, if that's ultimately something that we need to do, then so be it. I think bringing in the right talent, compensating people, that will come after several attempts, trial and error. Also, if it's more efficient as we move forward.
That you've employed to do a certain job. Once they show you that they are not up to that task, and then perhaps I don't want to see our dollars going out of the county. I need our dollars to remain here in the county and circulate.
About expanding from not only the chair position to post 1, post 2, but adding additional posts on.
Well, people have asked me that question about going from 3 to 5, and what I said is the only reason that we're pushing for that is because of what we have now. It's because there's not a feeling of openness, and so what I'm saying is we have that position. Give them 1-5. Yeah, I'm not going to stand in opposition to it. All I'm saying is give it a chance with what we have. Give our resources a chance with what we have, as was said earlier, and then make that decision as a public.
Thank you, Commissioner.
There are several reasons why that is on the table, or there's a buzz in the community, or at the water cooler, as you described. But I think that cause should be championed and petition us and champion that cause. I will say this, due to the Georgia Sunshine Law, that having only 3 commissioners, it does create somewhat of a strain and articulate a message between all 3. Then there is another. And if we're already dealing with an $8 million deficit that the chairman currently put us in.
We have for our kids and our family, and let's talk about it.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Can I add, sir?
You can have 30 seconds, Commissioner.
Thank you. Let me say this. When the chairperson commissioners to add or subtract in terms of...
Since RJ, you opened, I'll give us the opportunity to...
I've been in the people business a total of about 30 years, and entrepreneurs. More importantly, being people a good enough reason, traveling both east and westbound on I-20 to get off at one of our 3 exits and want to stop and shop in Rockdale County. Leadership must come from the other 2 Board of Commissioner members as well. I believe that I have the skill set to do it. I've been there. I think it's important that you have someone who's in tune and in touch with the people of Rockdale, who's actually on the ground, has been on the ground for the past 8 years.
Commissioner. And Commissioner Hadley, your closing statement, sir.
Thank you once again for having me this evening. I have to thank my wonderful wife, Tara Hadley, for joining me this evening. So I don't get in trouble later. And I want to say that our best days are ahead of us. That's what I believe. If you vote for me, I'm always going to have that view. I'm always going to be fighting for that. I'm going to be fighting for what people need on the ground. That's all I know to do and how I know to do. I don't go from what we can't do. There's a lot of negativity in our county right now, and there's no reason for it. We have everything that we need to have the community that we want. Visit me at rjhadley.com. Look at my background in nonprofit service, in the corporate sector, in government. I'm qualified. I have the fortitude. I have that experience of building bridges, partnerships. This is what we need. This is a time that we all need to come together. You've taken your time here today, and I want you to know that I will offer my time to you. May 24th, I need your support. May 2nd, early voting. And I'm going to be frank with you. In this challenge, I need your financial support as well to be able to get this message out in a short period of time. So please consider that as you visit rjhadley.com. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, gentlemen, very much, both of you, for showing up today.
2 minutes to introduce yourself for running for any office. Please feel free to come up and do this while you have the audience looking and listening. Any person, I'll give you 2 minutes. There we go. Start that clock.
Good afternoon, everyone. Well, good evening, everyone. It's been a long afternoon. My name is Rhonda Taylor, and I am running for the House of Representatives for District 91. Active in the community here in Rockdale, been here 10 years, but have been working across the state for over nearly 30 years. And passionate about the community. I enjoy being here today, hearing and just feeling the energy and wanting to be a part of helping Rockdale grow to be the best that it can be. Then again, Commissioner Hadley said that the early voting starts on May 2nd and the actual election is on May 24th. I would love to have your support. To find out more information about me and the campaign, visit my website at www.rhondasttaylor.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rhonda. Good evening, everyone. My name is Courtney Dillard, and I have been a Rockdale citizen for 25 years. My wonderful wife is the chief of surgery over at the hospital, and I am running for the county commission chairman seat. And I'm running as an independent candidate, and I am the first independent candidate to be running for that position in Rockdale County. I'm going to take about 30 seconds and kind of tell you that the process as an independent is a little bit different, whereas everyone qualified in March, independent candidates, or the one independent candidate, only filed what's called a notice of candidacy. And I have between now or March 11th and July the 12th to gain 2,534 signatures, or 3% of the voting public, to sign a petition that puts me on the November 8th ballot. And so we have been doing a yeoman's work. We have about 750 signatures in about 4 weeks. It took a moment to kind of understand this process. But the things that I'm working on are very clear. Over the last 6 months, my organization has been able to bring $11 million in free scholarships to high school students in Rockdale, Newton, and DeKalb County. And just here recently, we just brought a national mentoring program into the community that's going to help facilitate mentoring to African American young men between the ages of 12 and 18. So once again, my name is Courtney Dillard. I want to thank everyone. I enjoyed all the candidates today for all the fine work that you're doing. So you have my sincere blessing on all the work that you're doing. Thank you very much for allowing me this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dillard.
All right, thanks for everybody coming out tonight. Just remember, you can check us out at Just for Fun Radio. Oh, we got one more. I didn't even know you were running. I just know her as the ladies' lady. She has come on our show before, and she does a good outreach thing that she's part of. Look at that. See, why didn't you make
Board Post 4. I've been in education over 17 about students passionate about their success, both in school and out of school. Serve the board and serve you all students to ensure that our students are prepared for life after high school, to create this.
I can honestly say, Just for Fun Radio, we are all about supporting our rights and taking care of our citizens. We want to practice what we preach about the whole freedom of speech. That's what we created this pirate radio station to do, is help people in need. So, with all that being said, thanks for being part of this. We wanted to make sure that everybody had their voices heard tonight. Y'all have a great night. Be careful.
Well, then I'm not going to see you, man. Later, thank you. Stay out of trouble. You do the same.
here we're saying let's play logic, and then you can laugh. So all gloves are off. It just sucks. Yeah, but I'm up here and they're trying to talk. You know what I mean? I was trying to deal with that. Good. I just had a feeling, and after what had already happened, hey, unplug that one when you get a chance. Turn this off. Thanks for viewing, everybody.